This goes out to all men around the world. Wherever you are, whoever you are, it's gonna be alright, fellas. We got you.
All right, y'all, it's the KD Bowe Show. Glad to be here with you. Back in the studio is my partner, my dude. He's that dude, Jasper Williams III. What up, man?
Hey, buddy, how you doing, sir?
Man, I'm good, good. How was the vacation? I know you were out.
You know, it was good, man. You know, it was great. I gotta tell you this.
You tell me.
Quad now calls me Jasper Williams. I just want you to know that you've influenced my son to re-articulate our last name.
Man, it's all love.
Yeah,
That's
good
what's
to
up.
see you the other day.
Likewise, man. I'm sorry, man, that you weren't able to make it there for Praise in the Park, man. It was crazy out there. But I tell you what, next year you got to come on that stage, because when I was out there, all I heard people talking about was how much they appreciate and love ManUP Mondays.
Man, and you know, I love what God has us doing. I love the opportunity. I love to see the fact that we have a chance to sow some seed and change lives, man. And I'm honored to partner with you through this.
Real quick, I was talking to a guy. He grilled up, tatted up, looked like he was, possibly was raised on the other side of the tracks. Mm-hmm. Okay, but he said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, bro. So I listen to y'all every Monday." And he said, "Sometime, man, when I'm driving, I really just have to pull over because I can't see, man. Y'all be hitting on that place. I'm tearing up so bad, I got to pull over." And he said, "One day, man, I want to just get you to pray with me." And I just took time out, minute or so to pray with him right there. But I'm telling you that that guys are really listening, and we are speaking what they either don't have the words to be able to say, or they really are not in a comfortable place to talk about where they are. So ManUP Monday is making a strong impact.
Man, that means so much to me. And
Yeah.
to see the eternal value, I'm so hopeful.
Also in the studio with us, this, I don't know what this is. We had our first woman on ManUP Monday a couple of weeks ago, mm-hmm. and we got another one today. And man, she is so qualified. Jackie Brewton is here. She is a sex ed therapist, and she is here today. And we're going to be talking today about back to school sex talk. Now, Jackie, first of all, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I saw your video online, and if you want to see Jackie, you can go to her website, JackieBrewton.com. But what I liked about it was you were talking to an auditorium full of young men,
right.
Teenage men.
Right.
And the thing that stood out more than anything that you said was your resolve. I mean, you were looking at them in their eyes, and it was clear that you were connecting, and you weren't scared. You weren't backing down or anything. And I'm just really curious about where that come from.
I often say it's a God thing, but I've been doing this for 12 years, and there's a connection because I think they can tell that I really, really want what's best for them, and I'm speaking from the heart. And that, if for any teacher, educator, anybody trying to change behavior, it has to come from the heart, and they have to know that you're speaking from the heart.
Why is this conversation more important now than it was maybe 5 years ago?
Well, I've been doing this for 12 years, and so I've seen a big difference in the last 12 years. If you talk about specifically conversation for boys, it's because girls have become so much more aggressive. And, we used to...
Tell me what that means. I'm sorry.
That means girls are the ones pressuring guys into having sex. Very often.
Really?
I have over 10,000 letters from high school students, and often hear from guys that either they broke up with the girl because the girl wanted to have sex and they didn't, or the reason they started having sex was because the girl pressured them into having sex. Yeah, it's a new day. Clearly a new day.
Okay, so today we're gonna talk to guys. Really, we're gonna talk to everybody, not just guys, but we're also gonna talk to ladies as well. But I think that men really need to take the forefront, particularly if we want to be leaders of our household, leaders in the community, and just men of God, kingdom men. Then we need to take this conversation. So if I'm not equipped, and I'm not, to fully have this conversation, I know Jasper may be.
Man, I'm on your side.
I don't have the tools like you do. I think the idea says call somebody that can help you have this conversation in a realistic way. Now, put everybody at ease that it's going to be family friendly.
Yeah, definitely family friendly. Not gonna say anything that you could have your teenager, in the car listening to you, and it'll be totally appropriate.
Okay, good stuff. So we're going in. Just remember, it's family friendly. Don't act like I didn't tell you that. It's going to be family friendly, but it's a conversation that we need to have. I know you've got some stories. I know I've got some stories that my kids tell me. It's going down in these schools, and trust me, this is a conversation we definitely need to have. In studio with Jackie Brewton, as well as Jasper Williams III. Let's take another look at traffic. What's going on, Monique? It's the KD Bowe Show. In the studio with Jasper Williams and Jackie Brewton. She is a sex education expert, and she has been all over the country doing what she does, and she's amazingly effective. Jasper, I like this conversation, sex talk before school. Some schools have already started as soon as Friday. My son goes back to school tomorrow. My oldest son goes back to school tomorrow. 2 other children go back to school next week. Some children started today. But we've got young kids.
Right.
So as much as we want to have that conversation, sometimes in the back of your mind you wonder, am I doing this right?
Right, yeah. Any parent that struggles with wanting to raise their children right struggle with that question. Am I doing it right?
Right. So in the studio, we brought an expert in, Jackie. So tell me a little bit about your past, Jackie, and what caused the passion to talk to youth about sexual education. Where did that come from?
Well, my background is I have a degree in business, worked in corporate America for years, and during my career at Procter & Gamble, I lived in a number of different cities, always ended up participating in a mentoring program. And I was always mentoring young ladies, and I kept hearing over and over and over from these young ladies about the regrets that they had. The regrets always had to do with sex. And so I kept saying, wow, maybe if someone had told them what they were worth, maybe if someone had told them what they deserved, maybe they would have made some different choices. And then I said, why can't I be that somebody? And so what I share with the kids is, at that point, I made a decision that it wasn't enough for me to be successful. I wanted to be significant. And I said, because when you're successful, you add value to your own life. You buy a lot of stuff, accumulate a lot of things, but when you're dead, you're dead. I said, but when you're significant, you add value to somebody else's life. And that's what legacies are made of. And I left to actually start an after-school program for teenage girls, in Cobb County where I live. And just a series of divine meetings. Ended up meeting a lady with the Cobb County Commission on Children and Youth, and started going into the classroom in Cobb County in the health classes, teaching, speaking to the students, and it just kind of grew from there. Then I got a contract with another county, and got a contract with the Governor's Office of Children and Families, and that's kind of history.
Yeah. In the studio with Jackie Brewton. You can check her out on her website, Jackie, Jackie, Brewton, BREWTON.com. Sex Talk Before School. And the thing that you shared with us off the air is what I want to talk about on the air, is how you are amazingly effective with young boys. And you cause them to be able to do what they typically don't do, which is talk, open up, be honest, and write letters. What is that about?
I think one of the reasons I'm so effective with boys is, number one, they fill my heart, but it's a message of being challenged. I talk to them about being a protector and not a predator.
Tell me about that.
A predator is somebody who preys upon the weaknesses of another person for their own selfish gain. I talk to the guys about, based on my experience, every girl has a story. And for teenage girls, in most cases, the reason that she's having sex has much more to do with how she feels about herself than how she feels about the guy. And so when I
Whoa, wait. Who are you talking so fast? All right, take me back.
That's what the kids say too. I talk really fast.
Oh, but that was good.
I have a lot to say in a little bit of time.
So these girls are having sex, and it has less to do with the boy, and it has more to do with them?
Right. Because what I say to the girls, and I know this is Man Up Monday, but I think this is a part of it, that guys need to understand, is girls will say, I had sex with him because I wanted to show him how much I loved him. And my question back to the girl is, but what are you going to do to show yourself how much you love you? Because when you love you, you protect you. When you love you, you respect you. When you love you, you don't make decisions that could ruin your health and jeopardize your chance of reaching your dreams, your goals. And then I tell the girls, I say, and if he loved you, he would protect you.
So you tell boys to not be a predator, and a predator is?
Someone who preys upon the weaknesses of another person for their own selfish gain. Because so many of these girls are broken. I mean, I bet you I get 50 to 100 letters a year from girls who've been raped or molested. I've gotten letters from girls who are 15, 16 years old with 25, 26 sexual partners as a teenager. And so I talk to the guys about protecting girls, and in many cases, they're protecting girls from themselves.
Say that again.
They are protecting girls from themselves. And guys love being challenged to be a protector. But I'll tell you another way that's really has been really effective is talking to them about what do you want for your future kids. And do you want your kids to have to go through what you've gone through? Because many of them come from fatherless homes. And so, the definition of insanity, we all know this, to do the same thing and expect different results.
Yeah. In the studio with Jackie Brewton, Jasper Williams III. If you want to reach out, we've got an expert here. I mean, she's an expert. You can call 404-741-1025. And although she is the expert, what we want to do is be able to give you some practical tips that you can use today, if that's okay. Practical tips that you can use today to talk to your child to make sure that they're well equipped when they go back to school. Because this day and age now, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but I have, that the hypersensitivity to sexuality, it's more than it's ever been. And as a father, it does cause me to just give a little bit of pause about sending my kids out in the world, because it's rough out here. So we'll talk more with you. 404-741-1025. Let's take another look at traffic. What's going on, Monique? It's the KD Bowe Show, Man Up Monday, in the studio with Jasper Williams, Jackie Brewton, a sex education therapist, a professional. She's here. Great information. I just really wish that we had more time to really dig into this, but we're going to do the best we can with the time we have. She is available to speak, I think. Right, there you go, good. Available to speak, has DVDs available, and I'll give her an opportunity to make those available for you. But if you just can't wait, go to her website, JackieBrewton.com, JACKIE, Brewton, BREWTON.com. All right, so, I don't know what I was going to say. What were we going to talk about on this one?
Parents don't think that absence is realistic.
Okay, wait, act like you didn't say it. Okay,
I'm sorry.
so right now what we're going to talk about, right now,
KD Bowe Show.
throwing it out there, not going to do it. Just,
You asked.
So, but it's the truth though. A lot of parents, and I must admit that I know a lot of them that really don't believe that abstinence in today's society is practical, achievable. So they don't teach it. They teach, put on a condom, wrap it up. And to that you say?
I said there are a couple of different concerns about that. Number one, condoms are not 100% effective against anything. And two of the viral STDs, herpes and HPV, are both spread by genital skin-to-skin contact. So the condom doesn't cover the entire genitals. And what I say to the kids is that I don't try to talk them out of using condoms, but I just, because I tell them the only thing dumber than having sex with a condom is having sex without a condom. Like, they're both dumb choices at their age.
Okay.
But one's just dumber than the other. But, so they don't think it's a realistic message to expect them not to have sex. And so many of the boys in the class tell me that I am the first adult that has ever told them why they shouldn't have sex. They said every other adult in their life has just said, make sure you use a condom. And so they live up or down their expectations. And so when parents expect them to have sex, because remember the quote from the trailer, it's the nature of man to rise to greatness when greatness is expected of him.
Yes.
And the problem is, it says if greatness is expected. And for most of these kids, very few adults expect greatness from them.
Give me that quote one more time.
It is the nature of man to rise to greatness if greatness is expected of him.
It is the nature of man to rise to greatness if greatness is expected of him.
So that means greatness is natural.
So what you do basically is you expect greatness out of everybody you talk to.
Exactly. And I tell them, I say, if no adult has ever told you that they expect greatness from you, I'm telling you now. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I'd still be in corporate America making a lot more money than I make now. But it's because I expect greatness from them. And so they rise to the challenge of living a life of greatness.
So practically when you are having your sessions with the boys, what are some of the things that you say, or girls, what are some of the things that you say that really drive it home?
For the boys, I talk a lot about breaking generational cycles, and many of them don't have fathers in their lives, and I talk to them about how selfish it is to make a decision and to think that they're going to get something different than what they have gotten. And that really resonates with guys a lot, that they say, just because I haven't met my future wife, I'm going to protect her even before I meet her. Because I talked to them about a real man protects and provides. And I said, you don't have to meet your future wife before you start protecting her. And the best way to protect your future wife is by presenting her the healthiest husband possible when you marry her, one free of disease.
Woo! Oh, that's good. Say it again.
I about
The
forgot
best way to
The best way to protect your future wife is by presenting her the healthiest husband possible when you marry her, one free of disease. And I say that right after I talk to them about the fact that HPV, human papillomavirus, that causes a woman to have cervical cancer, males cannot be tested for it. And so I have a story of a young lady who lost her virginity at 23 years old to her fiance, only man she's ever had sex with, and was diagnosed with HPV. And her fiance at 23 is apologizing, telling her he's sorry. And I say, even when he changed his behavior, he couldn't change his history. And I say, I guarantee you, if he could go back and undo all the sex he had in temporary relationships in order to protect the woman that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with, he would, but he can't. And that resonates with guys.
So you don't really, you don't tell people, you don't really make it such a, I don't know, such the shark in the room, the elephant in the room, don't do it. You just tell them their worth. You tell them who they are, and you tell them the success or the greatness that they can achieve if they don't.
Right. I teach towards something and not away from something.
You said it better than me.
And so I don't talk to them about consequences. I mean, we discuss, STDs and risk of pregnancy, but that's a very small part of my presentation because fears can be conquered. And so a lot of parents try to scare their kids out of having sex. And they, I had a parent at the post office who said her daughter was going to the 8th grade, and she said, I'm going to go to the internet and find these pictures of diseased penises and show them to my daughter so she won't have sex. And I said, the problem with that is they can have an STD and have no symptoms. And so now you've conditioned your daughter to think if his penis doesn't have all these warts all over it, he must be clean. And, that's using fear. But pride is a better motivator than fear.
Wow.
And so I talk to them about being proud of who they are, knowing what their value is, knowing what their dreams are, having a bigger yes to say, to something to say yes to, so that it makes it easier to say no to more temporary things.
What is that value, Jasper? What is that value that young men and young women have, man, that they can achieve? The pride she's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what she's saying is that she's speaking to how God has made us, and she's speaking to how God has made these young men, these young women. But then I think that she's also reaching an adult crowd that is crying out on the inside for help and wishing that they had not made some of their decisions. And she's really empowering a whole bunch of people outside of who this DVD is indeed targeted for, because it's how God has made us. God has made us to respond to authority, people in places that have anointings and grace and that speak truth in love, not just scripture, but this is real life. This is practical stuff.
Okay, I really feel this very strong. It hit me when you said that there are people that are listening that they have regrets because they did some things, man, that they can't undo. It's already done. Talk to that person, man. Give that person that's listening right now some hope.
What I would say is that sin is like a piece of wood and a nail. I can put a nail in a piece of wood and remove the nail is no longer there. But the impression, the indentation that the nail left has to be dealt with. Now, I do know that God is a healer. God can heal. God can restore. You cannot read scripture, look at why Jesus died on the cross without seeing that he is a redeemer. But we have to understand that our decisions cause us to have to live with some stuff that we rather not have. And so no matter who I'm speaking with, I'd say you start with a confession. There's a whole lot of stuff that happens. There's healing that happens, physical, material, spiritual healing that happens when there is true confession, when there's true repentance. And I believe that if these stories that are being told are embraced, and you take your emotions, your thought process, and you take it to God, put it under the blood, I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I do know that I serve a big God.
Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's why you here. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Don't say that.
Okay, so when we come back, I want to hear some of the stories. I mean, you've got plenty of them. Over 10,000 letters from these students that you've received. I want to hear some of those stories and tell people how to get in contact with you and get your DVDs and all that kind of stuff. Jackie Brewton is her name, her website, JackieBrewton.com. In the studio on a Man Up Monday. Let's take another look at traffic. What's going on, Monique? It's the KD Bowe Show, Man Up Monday, in the studio with Jasper Williams III. Going to hear about his church and how they are just going in over there, man. The word is coming phenomenally. I've been talking to some of your members, man, and they are just they're loving it right now.
Well, all right then.
They just loving it. We ain't never gonna leave.
All right.
Also in the studio, Jackie Brewton. She is a sexual education therapist, and man, a very effective one at that. Check her out on her website, JackieBrewton.com. But Jackie, tell me, you get over 10,000 letters from students, and which I thought was very interesting. Kids actually write you letters. Tell me what that's about in the day of emails and texts and stuff.
Well, when I go into an actual classroom, the teachers give them an assignment to tell me what they thought about the classes. And I use it to kind of improve my presentation. So often they'll say, I wish you had talked more about this, or this is what made it click for me, so I know to talk more about that next time. And all I ask them to tell me is, what impact will the classes have on the future decisions, and, what did they think of the classes? I get 3- and 4-page letters.
From guys?
I think I think it's therapeutic. And some of them will say, even if you never read this letter, at least I got it out.
Wow.
You're the first person I ever told this. It's therapeutic. I really do believe that letters is therapeutic for them.
Can you give me some examples of some of the stories that you've gotten? I guess testimony or praise reports, Gospel Station.
Well, I had one young man actually, and I actually spoke to this young man in person a couple weeks ago, who said what he hates is the double standard that parents have for their sons versus their daughters. And he said, for sons, we're always told, they expect us to have sex, and they tell us just to use protection. He said, but for daughters, they expect them not to have sex and talk to them about valuing themselves. And he said, but they don't understand is boys have value too. And he said, if someone had told me that I had value and given me the same message that girls get, I would still be a virgin. I have boys who say their fathers pressured them into having sex. I had an 8th grade boy who said his father tried to convince him to have sex with a 39-year-old woman in his apartment complex.
For what? I mean, what was that about?
To make him a man. And he said, he came to me, he waited a long time after class to talk to me and said, my father kept saying, are you scared? What's wrong? And he said, I didn't do it, but I've been beating myself up ever since because I thought I made the wrong decision.
Wow.
And he said, hearing you speak today made me glad that I didn't give in to sex.
Yeah, but the 39-year-old woman, bring her on the show. Let's talk to her. What you going through, lady?
Right.
Anyway, but yeah. Okay, so parents that are listening today, that are listening to you right now, and even some of the teens that are listening, what do they need to take away from today's show, that A1 bullet that they need to take away from today's show that will have them successfully sex-free throughout this school year?
I think the biggest thing is don't talk to them about the consequences of having sex as much as they do the benefits of abstaining. Talk to them about, talk to them towards something instead of away from something. Talk to them about setting goals, dreams. I like to let the students come to the decision themselves that sex doesn't make sense. Because then it's their choice and not somebody trying to cram a decision down their throat.
You said it doesn't make sense.
I said it's their choice that they make, that they abstain from sex versus me telling them what to do.
Okay.
I kind of guide them to where they just realize it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I have too much to live for.
Gotcha. I love it. You have 2 DVDs. Talk to me about those and how people can get them. And I know when I go home, I've got both of them, one for the girls, one for the boys. Sit them down, let them see what's up.
Yes, I have a DVD for girls and boys. They're both available on Amazon as well as on my Facebook fan page. Not my private profile, but the fan page. If you go to the left-hand column and scroll down, there's a shop button. They can buy it directly from Facebook or they can buy it from Amazon. And what I recommend is that they let the child watch the video themselves and the parent watch it separately, so that you can formulate the discussion that you want to have with them when you watch it together. And then when the parent watches it with the child, pause it throughout and have discussions, because there are a lot of bullet points in there that a friend of mine listened to it and she said, you would make one powerful point and then you talk so fast, you go to the next point and I'm still trying to process what you just said and you said something else.
Okay.
So just pause it throughout and watch it together.
Now, what is your Facebook page?
Jackie Brewton, CEO of Motivation in 3D.
Oh, yes, Lord. That's so long. One more time.
Jackie Brewton, CEO of Motivation in 3D.
So is your website, is all that on your website?
No, the website is just JackieBrewton.com. You can get to the Facebook page through my website. So just go to my website.
Yes, Lord. Okay, Jackie
Yes.
Brewton.
Just go to my website. Sorry to complicate it.
That's all right. JackieBrewton.com. JACKIE Brewton, BREWTON.com. Please come back. I think that you are amazing. You just bring some life to this topic that I've never, ever heard anybody bring. And I want to say thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'd love to come back.
Okay, good stuff. Well, you're going to come back. Good. Jasper Williams, man, so this, all the joy and what have you that's happening at your church, man, tell me about it. How do people to partner with you?
Man, we'd love to have anyone come and share. May I just say thank you so very much, Jackie. And KD, thank you for the foresight. I mean, you know, the guests that you bring on, it's so much bigger than just a ManUP segment talking to men. But I think the way you put truth on display, it is, man, you're a pastor and you might not embrace it, but you've got ears on the other side of your microphone that you are thoroughly influencing their lives, and thank you for who you are. We'd absolutely love to have anyone come check us out one Sunday morning. We're a different kind of church. We always say we're not your mama's church. Let me put a couple of videos, and you make the decision. Put a couple of videos in your pocket. Text the word relationship. We're not about religion. We're about relationship. Text the word relationship to 54244. The word relationship to 54244. Hit us online, www.thechurchinfo.org. That's the name of our church, just the church. Alicia and I would love to hug your neck, shake your hand, say what's up to you on a Sunday morning. Let us know that you heard us on the radio.
All right, good stuff. I'm about to get out of here. Do you want to join ManUp Nation, ManUp community? You can do that. Text ManUp, one word, no spaces, MAN, MANUP, to 72727. Coming real soon, ManUp Live, family. ManUp Live. We're going to be live on location, broadcasting live. We can have you come to the spot every Monday night. You're going to have Monday Night Football. Not only can you hear the show, see us, ask your questions, get answers, the whole nine. We're just going to be doing a lot of stuff in the community, but we can't do it without you. So you want to be a part of it. You want to be abreast of all that's happening. Man Up. Text the word Man Up to 72727. Subscribe to me on YouTube, and it's on this video right here somewhere. There you go. Love you. Nothing you can do about it. They gonna see it in a minute. They gonna see it. All right, I'm out. What's up, Monique? Peace.
This goes out to all the Christian men around the world. Wherever you are, whoever you are, it's gonna be all right, fellas. We got you.